Waiting patiently to join us, and we're going to talk all things movies, Christmas movies on the big screen and on the small screen as well. We're going to say good morning to Collie McFadging. Hold on a second, Collie. I'm going to press the right button here. Here we go. Now, are you there, Collie?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, my friend. Loud and clear. Hope you're well.
I will. Reasonably well. The listeners probably don't want to know about my Friday night. Would you find me coming from Dublin with the wonders of technology here? And I have to give a shout out to my friend Enda, who is kind enough to let me use his home office to because I was devastated that I mightn't get to talk to you today, Rory. But also, he is now explaining to his children why Uncle Collie is screaming upstairs in the spare bedroom. So.
Yeah, I'd rather him have
talking about movies. What are you doing that for? Like, so
he's talking to himself. He's talking to himself.
Well, that wouldn't surprise him, I'd imagine. Yeah.
So we are into the month of December, which means it's Christmas blockbuster season, and we have a lot to talk about.
Absolutely, and we may as well start off with the big one that opened yesterday in all the cinemas here in the Northwest, which is Violent Night. Now, I think there's certain movies you go, did they just come up with the title and go, yeah, we've got to do a movie about that? And this is what they call, obviously somebody went, Home Alone's great, right? But we've done Home Alone. And people who, went to see Home Alone first time around were kids. What about a grown-up Home Alone? Sort of Home Alone meets Die Hard meets Bad Santa. And this is what they came up with. It's Violent Night. I think this is right up your street, Rory.
That's a serious combination now. It really is.
Yeah, that is serious. So in this, David Harbour, who loads of people will know from as Stranger Things.
He's Hopper.
Stranger Things. Yeah. He's a very charismatic actor. He's Santa. And Santa at this stage is a wee bit grumpy. And for anyone listening at home, of course, Santa's not really grumpy. But in this fictional world, Santa's a bit grumpy and a bit bored after looking after people for 2,000 years. And he's kind of going, they all like computer games now. That's not as cool as when I used to make toys and all that sort of stuff. And he's kind of thinking everyone's naughty these days. Meanwhile, there's a really nice family with this really nice daughter, and she has her Santa list. Unfortunately, suddenly their kidnappers arrive in their house, and she writes on her list, Santa, come and save us. And Santa sees the list and goes, right, you've been nice. This is your gift. Santa Claus is coming to town, and he's kicking ass and he's taking names.
He's going to town.
I've only seen the clips of this one, Rory, and I did think of you, and I know you're very busy with the panto at the moment.
Hold on a minute. You saw a clip of Violent Night and you thought of me. Please elaborate.
100%. Only because it's funny and charming. There, he said,
what a save! What a save!
Because of the one-liners. Like when you see Santa, like sometimes you just know whether you want to see a movie. And I saw the clip, and Santa turns up with these terrorists and goes, "It's time for seasons beatings." And I went, "That's my sort of movie.
Yeah,
that's my sort of humor." And I like this. So it's all the crack. It is 16s now. So because I know younger people will want to see it, but it is for older because Santa doesn't just go and use the, beat up the terrorists any old way. He uses every Christmas bauble present, attacks them with Christmas trees, turkeys, ice skates, everything like this. And it's that sort of Home Alone style, but a bit more adult. And it looks really good fun. And I think this will be one of those that in a couple of years, hopefully we'll still be talking to me, Rory. In a couple of years, we'll go, they've brought back Violent Night because it's going to be a Christmas staple. Everything.
You think it's going to be a Christmas classic we look back on fondly?
Yeah, I think so. And it just opened last night. I think it's going to be a big Christmas hit this time of year. And it's the right time. I don't like Christmas songs or things in November. I like it 1st of December, bang, go full on Christmas, go hard on Christmas. And that's me. And this is a great start to it.
We're here with the $300 million sitting in the vault downstairs. That's what I want for Christmas.
Stop that! Or Santa will get mad.
Santa Claus is coming to town. I want you to put down your weapons and let this family go.
If you want war, my guys are the deadliest killers money can buy.
I can't be that great. I mean, I already killed 2 of them.
Violent Night in cinemas Friday.
And look, probably a word of warning. The title probably should say it all, but if you're going for a Christmas family day out in the run up to Christmas, this is probably not one that, you know, is going to be a lovely cuddly family day out.
Well,
Am I
absolutely.
right?
Now, I've certain cousins in around the Anagra region this is exactly their family day out. Would be probably a bit tamer, but absolutely, this is for the grown-ups or for older teenagers. You know, that's who it's for. And I think they'll really enjoy it. But we've plenty of other cuddly stuff around, but this isn't one of it. So, for example, we've had two big kids movies have just been released. Lots of people will know there's a new Disney one called Strange World that is full of action. Now, Rory, I would say with that one too, the little ones, I think under fives might be a bit nervous. It's quite action-packed and there's a lot of chasing and so on. So I would say that. But it's really good fun. All these exotic animals, what Disney do best. But one of the ones I was thinking of today is Matilda, the musical.
Oh,
so
yes. That's one that's on my list. Yeah, definitely.
And where I'm sitting right now, I'm in Knockline in Dublin, where the star of Matilda is actually from. She went to the school right here. So it's an Irish star. And we always like to plug that. And, you know, lots of people will know the original movie of Matilda that was made by Danny DeVito, about the little girl who's kind of bullied at school and her magic powers appear. And then the Australian comedian Tim Minchin put it to musical, and it's been a huge success in the West End. Now, I haven't seen it myself, but loads of people have. Millions of people have gone to see it. They finally made a movie, and it's all singing and dancing. And I don't know if there are Billy Barry kids anymore, but that sort of stuff. But it just is just good humor. And like, even if when you're walking past the screen and you hear the music for it, there's a skip in your step. You know, you start moving to the music. It's just tremendous fun. And I think there's a lot of people with these Christmas movies that come out now. I think there's probably a lot of people who are really waiting for the holidays to go and see them. And this one will definitely still be around. And I think it's going to be a big family favorite.
Does it stray far? So, look, you know, of course, certain generations will have very fond memories of the Danny DeVito, Rhea Perlman, Mia Sara, Matilda. Okay. Does it stay faithful to that story, or is it embellished more? Is it done in a slightly... we know it's a musical, but, you know, does it stay faithful to the core story, or does it stray away from it a little bit?
No, I think probably the story is good. It strays quite faithfully it sticks quite faithfully to the book, probably more than... Think of it as a remake of the book rather than of the Danny DeVito thing. But I think there's going to be loads of little boys and girls who are going to love this. And I think they're going to watch both of them. I think you could watch, you know, like in the way sort of older generations loved about Hairspray, and then they made Hairspray into a musical. Yeah. And people like both of them, that they're kind of two sides of the same coin. And I think now, I know there's a couple of people out there that song and dance just doesn't do it for them. And there's lots of smiling kids doing somersaults all around the place. If that's not your cup of tea, avoid this one, because everyone's jazz hands and smiley, like me and you, Rory, on a Saturday.
Of course,
morning.
Absolutely.
But you know, it sticks to the story. I don't think anyone's going to go, oh, they've Americanized it or changed it too much. It's still a lovely story. Well, I suppose that's one thing. In the Danny DeVito one, they're American in it, and I think they're British in this, which was the original story. And Emma Thompson plays the Miss Trunchbull, who throws the kids around. And even you might have seen the clip of her just throwing the kid over the wall. Like, it is very funny and over the top.
Does the chokey still feature in this one?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm so...
I don't want to give too much away, but I think people are going to really enjoy it. And it's just a big family, and again, over the top, which is kind of a Christmassy thing anyway, isn't it?
Exactly.
Spectacle, yeah.
All right, so that's Matilda, the musical, that is in theaters now.
Yeah.
Now, one of the most anticipated releases, probably of the last 10 years, is landing.
Yes.
Avatar.
And anticipated in two ways. I think we mentioned it before, that Avatar is the biggest movie of all time, and yet in a weird way, people, you know, there's no memorable lines. There's no, we're going to need a bigger boat or something like that in it. But it was this spectacular watch. And I watched it again in 3D. And it was really that, and maybe the movie Gravity, the only two that the 3D really worked for, I think. Yeah. But there's loads of people who can't wait to see it for the adventure. And there's other people who can't wait to see it after 10 years, is it going to fall flat on its face? Because we've 3 of these coming. Avatar 2, 3, and 4 are all being made.
Yeah.
And there's huge weight of expectation. Now, it's opening in 2 weeks' time, and we've no idea yet because everything's embargoed, everything's whispering. But the buzz is about that they're expecting big money to come out of this one. And I've seen the trailer in 3D. And again, I'm not a big fan of 3D, Rory. I find it very boring. But I watched the trailer in 3D the other day and I went, that is spectacular. There's something about it. Maybe it's just that they're giant blue Egypts running around that it works. Now, it didn't work for the Smurfs though. But but it is there's something really special magic. And James Cameron has done this before. People doubted him when he was making Aliens. They said, you can't make a sequel to that movie. They said Titanic, what a waste of time. Nobody wants to see a movie that broke all sorts of records. The same with Terminator 2, when Arnie was going to be the good guy. They said that won't work. Broke all records. True Lies. So he's time and time again, he's proved people wrong. And he thinks he's onto something special here. And I can't wait.
Well, part of the draw with Avatar, the original Avatar, the original, but you know what I mean? 10, 12 years ago now, 3D was at the height. It was at its peak. And, the huge draw from what I remember was the special effects, the animation, the emotion behind the eyes in the characters. It was a big one. Was if you take other CGI characters, they often lacked emotion, lacked depth,
weight.
and this
they
was
didn't
huge.
I think they call it uncanny valley.
Yeah,
it just looks weird. Yeah, I agree 100%.
So CGI has moved way on in the last 12 years. So will the draw be as big? That would be my question. That would be my concern. What was the draw back in 2009, 2010?
Yeah.
Is that going to be the draw now? I doubt it. And I would say that it's going to have to really pull it out of the bag in terms of the story, in terms of the characters. Otherwise, I think it is in danger of being a disappointment. It will do big bucks.
It'll make money anyway. But whether
anything under the $2 billion that the original made, will probably be considered a disappointment.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's such a high bar. But the one thing I would say that I remember, so at the time, the local cinema I went to didn't have 3D, and I remember driving quite a distance to see it on the big screen in 3D. Such was the gimmick of it.
Yeah.
But the one thing I would say about that is, you're right about the cutting edge, but James Cameron, again, has always been that. So if you remember in Terminator 2 with the morphing, we've never seen CGI like that before. He's always brought a spectacle. So I agree with you that we're kind of going, we've seen it all. We've seen cities explode and everything. Nothing shocks now. But if anyone has done that before and amazed us with, look what you can do now, it has been him. And we'll see if we can do it again. But I agree. I think we'll have to go, name a character from Avatar. You probably can't.
Can't. Exactly. No, I can't.
But this time next year, you'll have to be going, Avatar 3's coming up. I can't wait to see what happened to such and such a person and so on. And I'm really curious. And I think it's going to be a groundbreaking thing for the cinema industry. It's one of those that they're going will we start making 3D movies again, etc. Or is it gone? But I, for one, will dust off my trusty pair of 3D glasses for this one. Other stuff, I would go to just the normal 2D screening. For this one, I'll give it a go. Because
you'll give it a go.
It is something special. And I'm looking forward already to talk to you in January and going, so what did you think?
What did you think?
What did you think?
All right, the time is 12 minutes to midday. We're going to go for a quick commercial break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about our own favorite Christmas movies that we're going to be watching. A few guilty pleasures in there as well, I would assume, Collie.
Just a few.
Just a few. We'll talk to you in just a couple of minutes.
Look.
All right, we are talking movies with the one and only Collie McFadden, who is still with us. And we are now talking Christmas movies, and specifically our Christmas family favorites, and maybe a few of those guilty pleasures that are in there as well.
Well, I have to say, you said this just before we went to break, and said guilty pleasures. I'm one of those people, Rory. I don't believe there's such a thing. I think if you like, particularly with music, if you like it, even if it is, Agadoo by Blacklace, if you like it, and you should be proud and embrace it. Now,
no guilt here, okay.
Except maybe that song, except The Walk of Life by Dire Straits, which I think is the worst song in the world. but I am the only person who thinks this. I am aware of that.
Yeah, we're going to have that discussion off there because that could get heated.
You've played
that
it at least twice. At least twice when I've been listening to you. But so I think I would say, so every start of every Christmas season, I think I'm a bit bah humbug. There's people who are Christmassy people, and I always think I'm not. And I think I'm not until I watch a certain couple of movies. And it always gets me every time, right in the feels. Now, I am the wrong generation for like the really popular ones like Elf and Santa Claus. I was just at the wrong age when they came out first time. I was about 20 when they came out. I was neither young enough or old enough to.
You're in that awkward in between.
Yeah, where you know just in the pub rather than watching the
movie about Santa Claus.
But people's got like Elf every year is an absolute favorite of people, and the Santa Claus as well. And those ones, but I'm a bit more old fashioned, and I was a bit grumpy, and I'm in college, and it's quite busy. And then I watched one of my favorites the other day, which is "It's a Wonderful Life," and again,
yes,
till quite late in life, and you always forget as well. It starts like it's a tough story about somebody who is at their wits' end, and is
it's got quite a dark side.
Take a drastic step. And like we wouldn't have had the language when that movie came out, but it's about it is also about mental health and looking after yourself and reaching out to your friends. But it's also incredibly witty. I forget every year just how funny it is. And sometimes we can think old-fashioned movies, they didn't have the same wit and repartee. No, absolutely 100%. It's clever, it's funny, and it's sweet. And for every time you've seen it, and for people who haven't, you go, it's not a bit schmaltzy and sentimental at the end. It's won you over 100%. And another one for me like that, Rory, is actually a remake, and it would be Miracle on 34th Street. Love it. Absolutely
Richard Attenborough.
Richard Attenborough, born to play Santa Claus. I think he's my favorite Santa Claus. And there's a few I like, and it's so over the top with the department store bad guys and so on. But there's a bit in it where Santa signs to a little deaf girl, and I'm nearly crying now. That could be the hangover.
A beautiful moment.
It's a beautiful movie. It just hits the tone right, and you never get tired. And like by the end, when they're flashing up the signs all around New York going, I believe in Santa. I'm telling you, so do I. Because it's just wonderful. And I think that's a favorite of mine. As I said, Elf, people like the Madcap. What about yourself, Rory? What would your favorite be?
Well, I would have a staple in our house, Tim Allen.
Yes.
And the Santa Claus, right? That is always the one that kicks things off. Then the old faithfuls, like your Home Alones and things like that. But one that I always watch, and I think it's because I think I've been this guy, all right? And I think a lot of dads out there have been this guy, is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Chevy Chase, the dad who just wants the perfect Christmas for his whole family, his wife's family, and it just, nothing goes his way. Everything is against him. And of course, as only Chevy Chase can do, he completely loses it and cracks up. It's funny, but it's actually very, very sweet as well.
Yes. I'd forgotten that one. That's a great call now, because I hadn't thought of it. I loved that one too. I remember I loved all the Chevy Chase National Lampoons, the European, when I was a kid right at Christmas. And it is sweet because all of these things, even the one that in this background behind me, the New and Violent Night, all of them, if it's a Christmas movie, there has to be that bit of it. And by the way, there'll be people shouting at the radio that we haven't mentioned Die Hard. And then there's other people going, don't mention Die Hard, it's not a Christmas movie. But I'll definitely be watching that.
If it takes place at Christmas, it's a Christmas movie.
Right.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you're going to disagree.
The rules are fine with me. As I said, it's like a guilty pleasure. Whatever you like, and like you're the Panto King, Rory. You're allowed to put in the rules.
Yeah, exactly. That's very true. Collie, listen, the clock's against us. We've got 4 minutes left on the show. So listen, I'm going to cut you loose. Thanks so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure. And happy Christmas.
Will talk. And happy Christmas to you. That's my first happy Christmas. My first happy Christmas from the one and only Collie McFadden. We'll talk to you in January. There's probably going to be a little bit of a lull in terms of movie releases over January. There usually is, but we'll find something to talk about.
Big Oscar ones coming out in January.
Well, we're into Oscar season, exactly, into award season. So, Collie, we will talk to you first week of January.
Slán. Bye.
All right, Collie, take care and happy Christmas as well. Collie McFadgen there talking us through all the releases upcoming and all of our guilty pleasures as well. All right, it's 3 minutes to midday. Had a